when you can't do what you need to do or what you want to do, you feel like you have to do this like right now because it's due or it's part of your job or it's just something that you're working on. And sometimes what's called life just sort of happens, kind of like what you see behind me right now. Yeah, my computer screen, the black screen of death. Actually, it's rebooting, but it's rebooting for the second time this morning. Well, I've got a lot of work I need to do right now, guys. You guys know I'm in the middle of recording an album. I've got some YouTube content to make, which I'm making right now, even without this. Hopefully this thing comes up at some point so I can edit this video and get it out there to you. But my point, guys, sometimes life does get in the way. There are several ways I can go about this, right? I'm actually gonna call Apple and see about maybe seeing what's wrong with this thing, or maybe it's just time to upgrade. This is an old 2013 machine. We're in what, 2023? So yeah, 10 years. Anyway, this is not about the Mac. This is about when you can't do what you need to do at that moment. The best thing you can do, guys, is do what you can. Now, I know that might not make any sense. You're like, but Jason, I've got to do this and I can't do that. So, well, I can't do that. Well, I want you to ask yourself in these situations, and this right here, my computer being slow or just starting up, I think it's about to come up, by the way. Hopefully it doesn't crash on me again. And guys, I know this problem I'm facing right now is kind of minor compared to a lot of problems that people face in the world. You may be going through a crisis right now, and my heart goes out to you if you're going through something like that. Maybe it's a health problem, maybe you lost your job, maybe you have a close friend that something happened to. Whatever the case may be, guys, this is probably a minor problem, although this is how I make my living, so we really need this thing to start working here soon. But there's always something that you can do in the interim. There's always something that can be done. For example, I started filming this video right now talking about this very topic. Well, this is what I can do. My computer's down. I can't work on my album. I can't record music the way I normally record, right? Because everything is done in the computer these days. And then it dawned on me, it's like, well, Jason, you've got your camera here. You can film a video, you can get some content out there. And I thought that this would be just a really good example to share with you that during those times, there's always something that you can find that you can do. Another great example here is, well, we all play through like plugins these days, and we all play through some sort of amp simulator. You guys know I just got the Blackstar Amp 3, and I use that through my computer. Well, I can't use those tools right now for their intended purpose. So what can I do? Well, I do have this really cool 50 watt EVH head and a 212 cab. I can just plug into that. Sometimes I forget that I have that thing sitting in the corner over here. Actually, I played through that a little bit before filming this video here. I was like, I just want to play. Sometimes you just want to play your guitar, Again, a very minor example, very kind of unimportant example of, well, I can't play my guitar through my computer, but I do have an amp. It's kind of like a duh moment. But guys, sometimes that thing that we can do, okay, because of the things we can't do are over here. We can't do these things because of some kind of limitation, because of some kind of technology thing, whatever's going on back here. But that thing that we can do is sometimes right in front of our face, and we don't realize it. We're so used to having things readily available for us, it's just right here. And in the world of technology, a lot of us, we depend on that to some extent, and some of us to a great extent, like myself. Again, this is my job, guys. I am a full-time musician, so I am always using the computer, because what comes with working for yourself as an independent artist, musician, if you want to call me a YouTuber, I guess I'm that too. But what comes with that is also marketing. It's also things like your website. It may be writing. You guys know I blog on my website, jasonstallworth.com. I'm always putting information out there, hopefully that gives you value. There's the marketing aspect of it. There's a lot of back-end pieces. There's the movie editing. Actually, my task this morning, my first task this morning, was to finish editing my wife and I's video that we made yesterday. Yesterday was our 15th anniversary, August 16th. We've been together for 15 years now. So, of course, we celebrated that by going out to eat at several different places, and we filmed it to share the journey. You guys know we have our channel called Candy and Jason. I don't expect everyone to follow that, by the way, but if you're interested in kind of what I do outside of the music world and what me and my wife, our adventures that we take and stuff like that, some travel, restaurants, and we're big foodies. Hey, check it out. It's called Candy and Jason. I'll drop a link in the description of this video. We'll be in Thailand in the month of November, so we're going to be filming quite a bit for that channel the month of November this year. Which brings me to another point, guys. going to another country. I'm used to living in the US, right? But going to another country, we've been there before. She's been several times. But we will probably run into some situations where, oh crap, we need to do this, but we can't for whatever reason, because things are just a little different, right? You go from one country to the next, or one situation to the next that maybe you're not as familiar with. Well, you may run into some things where, well, I needed this to do this. This was my goal, but I don't have everything that I need to do that. I want you to always think about, well, what can I do? Don't think so much about what you can't do. Think about what you can do instead, because you have to learn to navigate through life, guys. You have to learn to adapt to change and to pivot when needed. Actually, one of the people that I used to work with, or actually she was my boss at one time at the corporate job that I had before I left it, she said one really valuable thing to me and to everybody in the room that day. She said that you have to be adaptable to change and be memorable. So you have to have an impact, guys. You have to have an impact on people, whether you're at your job, whether you're playing music in front of someone, or in any situation for that matter. But the key point to that is she mentioned you have to adapt to change, and that is something that has stuck with me. And oh, hey, it came back on. Give me just a second, guys. Hold on one second here. All right, had to type in my password real quick there, so hopefully this comes up, hopefully this starts working. But guys, even if this doesn't work, even if this thing crashes again, well, guess what? I'm gonna have to not focus on what I can't do. What I'll need to do is focus on what is the thing that I can do right now. Right now, that may be saying, well, let me schedule an appointment with Apple. I've got an Apple store not too far away from us. Maybe I need to schedule an appointment with them. Well, I can do that on my phone, which I'm recording with right now. So that's something that I can do. Now, that might not be the option that I want. Maybe I want to try to troubleshoot myself. Well, that's something that I can do as well. This is sort of putting me behind on some other things, like some other YouTube videos that I had planned to film today if this thing doesn't work. Well, what's something that I can do to replace that? What's something that I can do right now instead? Well, I'll tell you what I can do. I can do this. I can take out a notepad and a pen, and I can start writing out the plans for these videos. Now, I like to do this anyway when I'm filming YouTube videos. Usually before I film, with the exception of this one, I just turn the camera on because I'm like, well, what can I do right now? And well, I can film this video for you guys. I think this is a great example, not only as a musician and guitar player, but just life in general. But I like to write out, some of the key points of the video. I don't need to write everything out, but I can do that right now. I've got more pages in this notebook, by the way. I can continue to write out some plans, right? Maybe I can write some lyrics. I'm done with all the lyrics for this album, by the way. I need to record vocals, which I need this thing to work for that. But what can I do instead? Let's say I was going to record vocals today, but I can't. Well, guess what? I could practice my vocal lines today, which that's something I might do, so that I'll be even more prepared when I go to record vocals when this thing finally comes up and says your computer was shut down because of a problem. Let's press the button here so we can keep this thing going. All right, still waiting, but guys, you get my point. So there's a lot of things that you can do. They're usually right there in front of our face. My notepad right here, not necessarily in front of my face, but right behind me here. My amp, I don't need to plug in and use a plug-in to, I didn't mean for that to be a pun, but I don't need to use an amp simulator in my computer or plugins. I've got an amplifier right here. That might not be the case for you, but I would say if your goal was to practice that day and you don't have an amplifier, you use plugins, you use computer, but computer is doing what this thing's doing right now. Well, guess what? Just pick up your guitar and practice, maybe save up a little money and go get an amplifier. Get something small that doesn't require a computer, maybe that has headphones or something like that. There are a lot of ways to not necessarily solve the problem at hand, but to continue moving forward. Yes, we need to solve this problem, and we will. We'll get to that for certain. I need this computer to work. Don't really want to buy a new one right now. I hope I don't have to do that. Again, guys, there are other things, though, that I can do. So right now, this very moment, I'm not going to focus on the things that I can't do, because if I focus on that, if you focus on that all the time, well, I just can't do this. You get down about it. You might even get a little depressed about it. And then you prevent yourself from moving forward. this computer is not preventing me from moving forward right now. Yes, I needed to do certain things. However, if I focus on what I can do instead in the interim, while A, this thing's coming up, or B, if I had to take this to the shop and get it fixed, well, I'm not just gonna sit around like, well, I can't do what I need to do. No, I'm gonna focus on what can I do instead? And that's another screen that just came up there. That's a good sign. That's my home screen there. By the way, that picture that's on this mountain in Asheville, North Carolina, or in that area, the Blue Ridge Mountains, is called the Devil's Courthouse or Courtyard. I can't remember which one, but that's my wife and I, our good friend RJ, and then my wife's cousin Adam, so he's in that as well. We always wanted to climb this mountain. We had gone to Asheville the year prior, stayed in the same hotel, got the same room, which was really cool. By the way, I've got some videos on the Candy and Jason YouTube channel out there. I've got a series of videos on that. But we had stayed at the same hotel, same area. We just loved it so much the year prior. We came back. We had drove by this mountain. We were getting ready to go home. It was our last day there. It's like, we got to go back there. We're going to go back there next year. We're going to climb this mountain. And such a beautiful view. Anyway, I just wanted to share that tidbit with you guys. But that's the kind of stuff you'll find on the Candy and Jason channel. Again, I'm not trying to push you guys to go subscribe to our channel, but only if you like that sort of thing. Hey, if you do and you want to follow that part of my life, hey, please go subscribe to it. Links in the description there. Bring that up because we're really trying to build that channel. I love, and I'm getting way off track here, guys. You guys know sometimes I go down a little rabbit trails, but I mentioned that because we're building our channel, so I'm going to be spending more time on our channel as well. I love editing those videos. I love filming them, the experience, and I love going back through the editing process, which now I think I can get back to editing our anniversary, our 15-year anniversary that we celebrated yesterday. Got a lot of cool stuff coming out in that video. Anyway, guys, I hope this video helps you. I know it's just kind of me chatting on here, but I always feel like we're sitting in the studio here together, just kind of hanging out, and maybe sometimes we're playing guitar together in here. I'm showing you some stuff and encouraging you, of course, to develop your own style and sound. That's what I always push for. But sometimes we just have these little talks about life. You know, we all go through the same type of stuff in life. And if there's something I've gone through or am going through that I can share with you that's going to help you get through whatever you're going through, and guys, I think that's a cool thing. And I appreciate you listening to this, and I hope this helps you. Hey, please leave a comment, give it a thumbs up if it did. And of course, make sure you subscribe to this channel. One more thing though, I'm gonna share a quick clip of me playing some tunes here. This is something I recorded for Black Star, so you might see this on some Black Star advertisements, but here it is, check it out.